Fine here. Since I don't have access to my dashboard on the Streamlabs, I need to rely on not too loud in my ears. I need to rely on Twitch side. So visually looks fine. What about audio-wise? Fine. Sounds good as well. Alrighty, so hello people of the internet. It is I, Soul Rack Dragon here, back with more Fate Stay Night Remastered, where we should be on day 2, if memory serves. If we go to the flowchart even, we can see that we are indeed on day 2, the same day, or pretty much right before Saber is summoned. So Saber will be getting summoned soon here. Hey Infinity, welcome to the stream. It has been a while, How be things? But, as I was saying, we had a lot of branches so far, and a 4-part branch that I have no idea how we got to this point, but this, where we're going to be loading in at, has Sakura with a broken heart icon, so I'm hoping that means we are not doing Heaven's Field first, because I kind of want to do that one second. Haven't slept in how long is the question, Infinity? How long's it been? Day? 2 days? A week? A month? Nope, never played the original FSN. I always promised that when the FSN Remaster came to Steam, because I was sure years ago that it would happen, that I would stream it. And so I am streaming it. Like every Friday. Except for next Friday, because I have some wedding prep, like a pre-dinner rehearsal or something that I need to attend to. Yes, I did wait for the bug fixes. I have waited. I'm only on day 2. The prologue took 2.5 hours to get through. And my throat was killing me by the end of the prologue. So, suffice to say, I need to take this slow since I'm reading it aloud and reacting. Yeah, I honestly had no idea the prologue even existed there. I mean, I didn't know when it was going to start. And to be fair, it has been... Yeah, I didn't know that we would get Rin's POV first. So that was a shock to me. I've only watched Unlimited Blade Works the one time. Granted, I have been watching the abridged version by Project Mouthwash, which is hilarious. But I only watched it the one time, and it was years ago, so I didn't remember how the first episode of Unlimited Blade Works began. So, suffice to say, I was surprised by the prologue. There were some scenes I recognized, a lot of scenes I didn't recognize. But it was fun, and I've been enjoying myself so far, even if I have been agonizing over the few choices that I've been given, because I'm trying to think of, there's no reason to play the remaster for you. You've already played the original. That's fair. But this is my first experience with it, and when they inevitably make the Hollow Atraxia remake, I'll probably end up playing that as well. And when they make CCC, or after Fate Extra's re-release comes in a couple years, when they eventually re-release CCC, I'll play that as well. Because I am a Fate Stay Night, or rather just a Fate-verse stan. I awake to darkness. I'm guessing I'm not much for dreaming. Unless something big happens, I always have the same dream anyway. Sword. I always envision a sword. I have no idea why, but that's the only thing that pops into my head. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Perhaps this is what defines me as, well, me, as Shiro Emiya. I don't have any dreams of my own. The only things on my mind while I sleep are what others taught me long ago. And actually, that is something I did want to ask. Since you have said that you played the original, is this kind of like how all the dialogue and lines are presented, like, front and center? Because I know a lot of modern visual novels tend to have it, like, in a separate box at the bottom, so that way it doesn't cut off the scene going on in the background. Is that how it played in the original FSN? For example, on how to be a mage. Even if I'm not a full-fledged mage, it's only natural for a mage to be aware of the world they're in. Put simply, a mage is an irregular, an outcast from society. But even outcasts need to band together to survive. It is like this. That's kind of annoying. Honestly, that's kind of annoying. Just because I feel like it takes a bit of... What's the word I'm trying to think of here? It almost detracts a little bit from the game that you're hiding the characters behind a wall of text. The original, you have to clear each route one by one. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could... I mean, to be fair, I have made save points at every decision point. So, I am going to be following along with this current set of decisions that I've made, which was to... morning workout, don't help Issei, talk with Taiga. You do? I just saved at every, choice point so far. And this choice point really confused me because it had the 3 dialogue options, but then when I checked the flowchart, there's 4 possibilities, and it's like, what? How? How is there 4 possibilities? Oh, that's the original. Gotcha. My old man told me there's a society of mages called a Mages Association. Shiro, there are so many mage societies. There's the Atlas Institute. What is the other one? Not Atlas. There's the Wandering Sea. Mage Academy, I'm pretty sure, is kind of, looked down upon by those other organizations. He also told me I should never get involved with them. The Mage Association is set to conceal the existence of magecraft and manage mages. The Mages Association watches over mages and makes sure their magecraft doesn't affect society, but the strange thing is they don't really prohibit mages from abusing magecraft either. According to Kiritsugu, the Mage Association is only interested in concealing mystics. FSN and Unlimited Bladeworks has branching paths after day 1 or 2. Well, I'm on day 2. Again, I'm pretty positive that with this Sakura broken heart symbol, I've probably said no to Heaven's Feel. Because, again, I didn't choose to help Sakura out in the morning, and I didn't choose to walk Sakura home. So, it's kind of like, I gave a big middle finger to Sakura there. Even if, say, a mage carried out an experiment that sacrificed, let's say, a lot of citizens, the association wouldn't punish them. Their priorities are expressly in preventing the public from becoming aware of magecraft, which does not mean magecraft is completely banned. Honestly, anything goes as long as the truth doesn't come out. At least that seems to be how that insane bunch of conducts themselves. Some choices don't affect. For Heaven's Feel, if you say what the branching path, it's spoilers, so yeah, that's fair. I imagine, just because, I can't check from here, but there's like 40 different endings that can be gotten. I do know that bad ends are a very real thing in this, and I kind of want to get all of them. So I am going to be exploring every branch of the kaleidoscope until it dead ends me. Whatever it is, the Mage Association's surveillance is absolute. Typical magecraft research sacrifices the lives of ordinary humans, which in turn risks revealing the existence of magecraft to the world. I very much doubt that the magecraft surveillance system is absolute. As such, the Mage Association doesn't permit research that would harm society. Ultimately, mages conduct their research in the privacy of their homes, while the world is none the wiser. So mages sometimes go into hiding to escape the association's scrutiny and oversight. So there may be some mages living in this town, and I just don't know it. So, from what I know, there's the obvious 3 route endings of Fate, Unlimited Bladeworks, and Heaven's Feel. There's also an alternate ending with Unlimited Bladeworks that involves Saber staying around. I know that as well. But beyond those 4, I don't honestly know what the other endings are. Other than that, there is bad ends. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I imagine one of those bad ends is Gil skewering Shiro like... what's a good analogy? Like he did Heracles! Yeah, there we go. I also hear Fuyuki is a spiritual hotspot of sorts. That probably means there's some prestigious mage with a storied history living here. There are so-called second owners, elite mages that the association entrusts to watch over territory. Other mages who live in the same area must visit these second owners first to get permission to build their workshop. There's 6 not bad endings. Okay, that's interesting. I'm guessing 2 alternate ends to each route, then. My old man was an outlaw who cut ties with the association and moved here without the consent of Fuyuki's second owner. There is, in hindsight, so much wrong with that sentence. Just in sheer hindsight, that sentence has so many things wrong with it. I'm not even going to go off. I'm not even going to extrapolate on that. So our family is a bunch of trespassers living in a house without permission from the landlord, which means the second owner doesn't know the Kiritsugu Emiya was a mage. So I tend to feel like our family's status as mages is kind of unclear. Then my old man, the bona fide mage, died. And even though I'm his disciple and son, I don't know a thing about the Mage Association and have no real knowledge about being a mage. I have a feeling the association would want to dispose of someone like me, but they haven't made any sort of move. Because their surveillance is not absolute. Apparently the Mage Association doesn't have many eyes in Japan, so that's probably why I haven't been found. You just... Shiro. This is something else I've heard about the visual novel, is that you get a lot of Shiro's inner monologuing through it. And I'm just getting, people die when they are killed vibes. The Mage Association's surveillance is absolute. The Mage Association doesn't have many eyes in Japan. People die when they are killed. Wonder what kind of mage? You heard they're good at gun and explosion magic. Guns and explosions. The anime version of Shiro is already stupid. I'm gonna get some extra... Oh boy. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. That was a flashbang, thank you, game. Well, that doesn't mean I can't let my guard down. The eyes of the Mage Association are said to be everywhere. Shiro. You just... The eyes of the Mage Association are said to be everywhere. Just, let's see, that's 2 sentences after saying, apparently the Mage Association doesn't have many eyes in Japan, so that's probably why I haven't been found yet. The eyes of the Mage Association are said to be everywhere. And why is it saying the church's hunters will make a move if the Mage Association commits a crime? The church is like an enemy of the Mage Association, isn't it? Or at least, they're not allies? Using Magecraft, however half-assed you may be about it, makes you enemies. So with all that in mind, I honestly just want to study being a mage on my own. Oh, Shiro. I wake up as the sunlight starts to pour in through the window. Looks like the sun's just now coming up. It's still dark out. It's cold. Waking up in the morning is getting tough. What are you, an old man? You're not Muramasa, Shiro. I get up, trying to not let the morning cold discourage me, and quickly fold up my futon. It's 5:30. I've always been an early riser, no matter how late I go to bed. I might mess up once in a while, like yesterday, but that's rare. Okay, since when does the sun rise at 5:30 in the morning? I'm pretty sure even in the, earliest days of summer, the sun does not start rising at 5:30 in the morning. Okay, looking up on Google, when is the earliest time the sun starts to rise? Globally. Yeah, this isn't telling me anything. Okay, whatever. Sunrise is... I mean, I guess I've never been up that early, or rather awake that early. I've stayed up late. I've stayed up that late, like, once, intentionally, and the other times I've been up that late have just been because I've been unable to sleep because of severe insomnia. But you've exercised at 5 a.m. Again, Infinity, you never answered. How long has it been since you last slept? So in the FSN context of how to classify the Shiros, FSN Shiro, hella effing stupid. Unlimited Blade Works, less stupid but still hella stupid. Heaven's Feel, horny stupid but still less stupid than Unlimited Blade Works. Archer, less stupid than all 3 Shiro routes but still stupid with the sauce of depression. Yeah, that tracks. That tracks. Where does the oh wait, no, you said in FSN context, so I cannot ask where the Miyuverse and Prilliaverse Shiros classify on that. Although Prilliaverse Shiro is probably not even worth the classification, it'd be more Miyuverse Shiro, so. Sunrise is from 4:30 to 6, damn. That's real early. Okay, breakfast. I let Sakura do all the work yesterday, so it'd look kind of bad if I didn't return the favor this morning. I should hurry up and finish making breakfast before Sakura comes. Well, yeah, I guess in winter the clock does tend to adjust so the sun comes up earlier. I cook rice and make miso soup. Yesterday the soup had daikon, radish, and carrots, so I'm making onion and potato miso soup today. I make the egg omelet and use the leftover konnyaku to simmer it with bonito flakes. I make incisions into the sorry fish, which will be the main dish, and sprinkle it with a little salt. All I have to do is broil it, but that can wait until the last minute. Cooking! Today's menu with the Emiya family. Okay, that'll do it. Also, just let me say this. I don't know if Shiro is just being self-deprecating, but why on earth was he saying that Sakura is a better chef than him? When, as far as all of the memes I know go, Shiro is like a chef level, a servant level chef, or something like that, based on all of the memes and stuff. And, you know, you take memes with a grain of salt, but they praise Shiro's cooking. I've never heard anything of Sakura being an excellent chef. Yes, Shiro is saying, yeah, Sakura's really good. She's better than me at cooking. What's up with that? Winter Midnight Sunrise. Good lord, that'd be insane. It's almost 6. I finished earlier than expected, so I have some time on my hands. So what should I do with this extra time? Why do I Did it just lock me out of a choice? That definitely felt like a... That definitely felt like a choose what to do option, and it didn't let me choose. Okay. Guess I'll work up a quick sweat if I have so much time. Morning exercise is my daily routine, so I may as well do some light workouts. There's a respectable dojo built in the Emiya house. It was added as a sort of afterthought when the house was constructed. Yeah, we already know, Shiro. You had this exact same line of thought yesterday. Which is why the dojo wasn't built for a specific purpose. Well, Fujini uses it on a whim sometimes. Fujini apparently used this place as her playground even before I came to this house. But then I became Kiritsugu's disciple and started using this place more often. Fujini hated me for that for a while. Anyway, there's only one thing I do here. Training to be a mage means I can't neglect training my body. One of the conditions of being a mage is maintaining yourself at physical peak. I'm trying to think. Is there any... Zaukin? He's not really at his physical peak. Can't comprehend the lack of intelligence of Bianjiro. I'm really starting to realize that. But I'm trying to think. That is a very... Huh. You know, I never really considered it, but pretty much all of the mages in the Type Moonverse are in good shape. And it's generally the exceptions that stand out, rather than... It's the exceptions to being in good shape that stand out more than anything. Huh. Yeah, I mean, he's the exception, but... Yeah, pretty much everybody is in good shape, even if they don't look like it. I mean, Gordy, he's got the Goth Punch, man. He took out He took out one of the Lost Belt dudes with a single Goth Punch. He's in amazing shape. Huh. I never actually considered that. That all the mages in the Type Moonverse are in pretty damn good shape. Must explain why Shinji can't be a mage either, because he's a scrawny little bitch. When Kiritsugu was still alive, he and I sparred often. Well, more that he just kicked my ass every time, so I never really learned how to win myself. Hope that would get a laugh. But at least I learned the difference between a fight and a battle. In other words, I learned the difference between killing and beating an opponent, and how to conduct myself in each situation. Knowledge and experience are different. Without the knowledge to know the difference, it's hard to tell if you've gotten yourself into a fight or a massacre. Okay, I'm gonna take that as a, an equal fight, like a fight being a fight on equal terms, or a massacre being that you are just completely outmatched. Because I'm pretty sure there is a couple of steps in between just a straight-up fight and a full-blown massacre. It's as simple as that. Learning Magecraft means that there's also a risk of perishing on your own, as well as a risk of having to fight. And to mages, that means killing each other. That's why Kiritsugu wanted to teach me that I must always be ready to face death. But the person who reminded me of that lesson is long gone. So the only thing I can do alone is some simple exercises. Stretching, push-ups, sit-ups. It's no different than what the members of the Kyudo Club do in the morning. The only difference is in the intensity. Got a magic best magic? I mean... Kiritsugu also does have time magic. Let's not forget, he has time magic. Also, I said this last time, but again, I am so happy to actually hear the source for this background music. I always enjoy this background music in FGO, and I honestly didn't know it originated in the VN. So I'm so happy that I actually get to experience the source of it. Good morning, Senpai. Did you finish preparing breakfast already? Yeah, it's all done. All that's left to do is set the dishes and grill the fish. No, I'll help. Leave the dishes to me. Sakura is clearly eager in her reply. I do believe I have. I'd have to go back to the title, so give me a minute to get through to wherever the next choice is first. Sakura's clearly eager in her reply, and coming in behind the ever-dependable Sakura... I smell Shiro's omelet, so he handled breakfast this morning, huh? Yeah. This is what I do when I see the menu. So I would have to go back to title. The flowchart just shows me, like... So I did miss. It did skip. Huh. Okay. Interesting. So that was supposed to be a branching choice. Okay, so that means that through doing certain dialogue choices earlier, not only can I miss out on potential choices like here, but I can also completely lock out the option to make a choice, as in here. Interesting. Okay, let me save it real quick here. Yeah, this is fine. It's after a choice point. Yeah, date over ribbon. Let me go back to the title real quick, so I can go to the codex. Gallery, I think? No? Maybe I haven't unlocked the codex. Okay, maybe I haven't unlocked the codex then, because the only thing I see here is gallery, which would have picture, movie, music, flowchart. Okay, I haven't. But yeah, see? 40 endings! Plus 5 up here, so maybe 45 endings total? I don't know. Alright, so let's reload back in here. Okay. Fujinin casually heads to the table. Well, let's just ignore her for now. I need to grill the prepared fish. Sakura used the middle set of plates. The food will look better on those. Oh, it gives you the weapons and servants in play. Interesting. Yeah, considering Shiro hasn't even encountered Ku yet, that's to be understandable. Interesting that I'll get a codex option. But grilling food for breakfast. That sounds like such a hassle. The plates with the bumps on the surface. Yeah, those. Grilled meat tends to not look good if you don't plate them well, and I've already grated the daikon. Sakura reaches far to take out the plates. And as she reaches out, I think I see a faint bruise on the back of her hand. Sakura, hold on a minute. Yes? What is it? What's that bruise on your hand? Oh. It's not bruise, it's command spells. She averts her eyes, looking uneasy. Oh yeah, I've been warned. I have been warned this is going to be a very, very long time. Her reaction makes how she got the bruise clear. Is it Shinji again? I can't believe he beats his own sister. And yet you're still friends with him! That's not it, senpai. Well, I got this when I fell. You know how clumsy I am. Okay, Shiro, you know that Shinji beat Sakura, and yet you are still friends with him. Even if you do make passive-aggressive comments to him, you don't play nice. And so I'm always falling and getting myself hurt. Oh, I imagine it's going to take like 100 hours, considering how much I can go off on tangents. How stupid do you think I am? Nobody gets bruises like that just from falling. Seems like Shinji needs to get some sense smacked into him. No, senpai. My brother really has nothing to do with this. I just hurt myself, so there's no need for you to be angry for me. Without tangents, it's gonna take 100. Lovely. Sakura falls silent. Sakura may seem docile, but she's surprisingly stubborn. It's no use saying anything to her now. Fine, if you say so. I'll leave it at that. Yes, I'm sorry, senpai. See, one of the things I am worried about with streaming this is I do know how FSN originally started, and I'm worried that those kinds of scenes are going to be in the remaster. And I have no idea what the protocol is for that with Twitch. Are you apologizing? Shinji's the one in the wrong. The moment I say Shinji's name, Sakura awkwardly looks away. It can only mean he's the cause of the bruise on her hand. Shinji Matao has a bad habit of treating his younger sister like crap. I noticed it about a year ago. And you're still friends with him! Even now and then I'd see Sakura injured, and she always made excuses when I asked what happened. When I asked Shinji about it, he revealed to my shock that he'd been the one who hit Sakura. I asked why, and he told me it's because she'd done something he hadn't liked. I got pretty pissed off, so I did to Shinji what he'd done to Sakura. We haven't been on great terms since then. You sure act like it. And I very much doubt you done to Shinji what he did to Sakura. Senpai, have you made up with my brother? Yeah, sure. We never fought in the first place. There's not much call for making up. Might be similar to the Real 2 version. That doesn't tell me much, unfortunately. Well, that may be how you see it, but my brother doesn't see it the same way. He thinks you're still fighting, so you should be careful. Ah, the mana transfers are removed. Okay. What Sakura says strikes me as odd. Be careful. Of Shinji. I mean, even the Heaven's Feel movie, though, was kind of, implicated a little bit what happened. So, I do wonder. Yes, he's angry with you. I hear he was the very reason you quit the club. Shinji had nothing to do with me quitting. Well, he might have been a factor, but it's nothing that you should worry about. And Shinji's right. This is a little unsightly. I'll point at my left shoulder. There's a little scar there. It happened about 1.5 years ago. Something fell on me during one of my jobs, injuring my left shoulder. I ended up with just a broken bone, but I also came away with a burn to my shoulder. After the accident, I quit the Kyoto Club. Our school's Kyoto Club, out of respect for formalities, allows students to perform sacred shooting rituals. Male students participating in this expose their left shoulder. Shinji pointed out that it may be disrespectful for someone performing a sacred shot to expose a scar, and since I was getting busy with my various jobs, I decided to quit the club. The only thing you didn't play is the Heaven's Feel. The small fact, in the original there are 7 scenes, both FSN and Unlimited Blade Works have 1 each. Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've heard there's something to do with Medusa. I don't know which route that would be on, but I've heard that there is something to do with Medusa. So, because Medusa apparently has a thing for Shiro as well. Senpai, I may ask this often, but are you ever going to shoot again? Miss Fujimura even said your injury didn't affect your performance. Fujini would say that even if I'd broken every bone in my body. Senpai, I'm being serious. Fair enough, Infinity. Fair enough. I know I should give her a serious answer, but unfortunately I can't give Sakura the answer she's looking for. Excuse me. I don't have time to do club activities like Kyoto, but it's not something I should prioritize, so I think I'll give it a rest for a while. How long is a while? Heaven's Feel should be careful. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I've locked myself out of Heaven's Feel at this point for this first route through, and I am going to be shooting for the Fate route because I watched the Heaven's Feel movies, I watched the Unlimited Blade Works anime. I never watched the Fate adaptation just because I heard it's like a mishmash of every route. So I have minimal information on the Fate route, and I want to experience that, for sure. However long I feel like, or maybe until it's time for you to graduate. I'm looking forward to having you look after me then, Sakura. I pat Sakura's shoulder. Oh, okay. I'll be waiting when that time comes. Really? I mean... Interesting. Interesting that you'd say that. I'd ask why, but I feel like that would be a spoiler. She nods violently. It looks like she might drop the plates. I mean, there was the one point where where the flowchart showed 4 choices, but only 3 choices were available to me. I thought it was because I didn't do one of the 2 other choices earlier on that caused that 4th choice to not appear, but I guess it could be something else. It's almost 7:30. Sakura and Fujini have long since left the house for their morning club activities. I went to school early yesterday because Issei asked me to, but I leave the house at the usual time today. Title screen changes are expected for the routes. Huh. Interesting. I noticed something strange as I walked down the hill towards the intersection. Silver police cars are parked in front of a house. Something must have happened since a crowd has gathered. There are easily 20 people watching. I'm curious, but the mass of people prevents me from finding out what's happened. I don't have much time, so I should hurry to school. Wow, Shiro, so much for a hero of justice, not finding out what crime was committed in your neighborhood. Wow. I make it to school 10 minutes before the first bell. As I cross through the gate with plenty of time as usual. Morning, Emiya. This is another character I knew nothing about. I had absolutely no clue who this chick was when she popped up in the prologue. You haven't even changed yet, Mitsuzuri. Homeroom's about to start. You really don't have time to say hi to me. You're absolutely right. Matter of fact, as always, Emiya. I don't know what's so funny, but she laughs heartily, not caring about her surroundings. This is Ayoko Mitsuzuri. She's been a classmate of mine since we were first years, and she's currently the captain of the Kyoto Club. She's an unbelievably insightful person, and it was expected that she would be the team's next captain since her first year with them. Mitsuzuri is a precocious sort, and people have always had high hopes for her, and even leaned on her ever since she was a first year. Then again, she gets mad whenever someone mentions that in front of her, claiming she doesn't look as old as people think. You were just thinking something bad about me. I wouldn't dare. Just making an observation. If you want to get angry about it, that's your call. You don't say. That may be your honest answer, but you never say out loud what's really in that head of yours. Because unlike Shinji, you never let your true self show. Shinji, what's he got to do with this? No matter how much either of you protest, you and Shinji are friends. You're his only male friend, and let me remind you that I'm the captain of the Kyoto Club. Is it only natural for me to associate with our club's troublemaker with our former troublemaker? What was the ending in the Heavenfield movies? In the movies, I believe it was Ilya activated Heaven's Feel and reconstituted Shiro's body. That's as much as I can remember. I guess the Kyoto Club's got nothing to do with it, but he and I go back a long way. Yes, Shiro lived. I see you just got ticked off. You always get frosty whenever the Kyoto Club gets mentioned. You sure had some guts quitting and leaving Shinji behind, you know? Did you not consider how other people you left behind might feel? Like Sakura and me? What, did Shinji do something bad again? We never have a day he doesn't do something. But he might have gone a bit too far yesterday. He made a first-year guy quit. Mitsuzuri sighs gravely. Seeing her look so serious is rare to begin with, but the rest of her story is particularly alarming. What the heck? Why'd he quit? Shinji took his anger out on him. He gathered all the female members and made the first year, who barely learned how to handle a bow, shoot his bow until he hit the target. Shinji mocked him the whole time. What? How could you let something like that happen? I would never let that happen, but a captain's got a lot to do, you know. You know very well that I don't live in the dojo. Yeah, but what the hell is Shinji thinking? He may be harsher than the others, but he's not the type to make someone into a spectacle. For Unlimited Blade Works in FSN, no, this kind of spoils. Ooh. Just in case, careful with later churches and house scenes. Okay. Listen, to you, you're something, Emiya. What do you mean by that? Were you just thinking something bad about me? I wouldn't dare. Just making an observation. If you want to get angry about it, that's your call. You. These are my own words against me. Fine. So what got into Shinji? Why'd he do that? I heard Tosaka shot him down pretty brutally. Tosaka? You mean that Tosaka? Do you know any other Tosakas in the school? Well, technically he does know another Tosaka. He just doesn't know that Sakura is a Tosaka originally. In fact, does Sakura... No, yeah, Sakura does know Rin is her sister, so Sakura knows that she is a Tosaka. Oh, I'm not using my mouse. My mouse is... I turn my mouse off. I'm using my keyboard to just proceed. And then I turn my mouse on for when it's time for dialogue. Or for choices. The second-year honor student in Class A, Miss Prefect Rin Tosaka. That's the first time I've heard that nickname. That's even worse. Oh boy. Are there going to be QTEs? But it fits. It's no surprise Shinji got rejected. And knowing Tosaka, she probably had some pretty harsh insults to go with rejection. Seeing Rin dressed like that is just so weird. Rin dressed like that looks so weird. Just saying. Anyway, Shinji's been acting out since yesterday. And that's why I've had to watch him like a hawk at the dojo up until now. Shinji does have a low tolerance for some things. I know it might be tough, but good luck, Mitsuzuri. Yeah, but you know how Shinji never lets go of anything. I'm just afraid he might do something really bad the next time he asks Tosaka and gets rejected again. Never enough inputs for text progression, gets stuck by accident and rush the text. Oh boy. Good to know. No, even Shinji wouldn't go near someone who just rejected him. He's good about that sort of thing. Shiro, you really do not know Shinji at all, and Mitsuzuri definitely knows Shinji better, considering what Shinji wants to do to Rin. What if the person who turned him down comes near him instead? I don't know why, but Tosaka swings by the dojo to come watch. Well, you quit, so you probably don't know that. That's news to me. I know Jiro ends up with Seiba. I only know very... Okay, that's block dialogue. I only know very general things about the endings, essentially who ends up with who. And I know the very little about the whole of the Fate route. Oh boy. Rin Tosaka doesn't participate in any club activities because her family forbids it or something. She's alone! She even turned down nominations to be a member of the student council, so I always thought she went straight home after school. I guess this isn't horrible once in a while. He's always acted high and mighty, so it might be good for him to struggle once. Sorry, but not sorry. I'll love him for a fun reason. You know, currently my favorite depiction of Shinji is the Unlimited Blade Works abridged Shinji, where Gil is just trying to get him killed. You know? Currently that's my favorite version of Shinji that I've experienced. Mitsuzuri has a weird way of looking at this. Now that I think about it, they say Rin Tosaka has a lot of enemies. I wonder if Mitsuzuri is one of them too. Interesting phrasing there, Infinity. Hey, Mitsuzuri, that's kind of cruel even for you. Oh, it's almost time. See you later, Amiya. You should swing by to see my bone work next time. Mitsuzuri hastily runs off. Classic Mitsuzuri. Classic Shiro, likely missing when somebody is flirting with him. You'll want to see my bow work next time. Is that a euphemism from the early 2000s that I would not know about because I was like 8? I never minded just how forthright she always is. I feel a little bit more at ease and head towards the classroom. It's lunchtime. Our school has quite the cafeteria, and most of the students eat lunch there. But there are some old-fashioned students who bring their own lunches, including myself and the student council president sitting in front of me. Can I have some of your fried chicken? My lunch is kind of lacking in protein. Indeed you are, Infinity, indeed you are. Fine, but why is your lunch always so plain, you say? I know you live in a temple, but there's no rule that prohibits you from consuming alcohol or meat, right? I'm sorry, Shiro. Are you advocating for a teenager drinking alcohol in the middle of the day? Shiro, Emiya, that is not hero of justice standards. Absolutely not. That idea is anachronistic. This is just how my father does things. According to him, a young priest should not indulge themselves in luxuries, and if I want to complain, I should do something about it. So I'm actually considering joining the circus one of these days. That sounds like your old man. Issei's father is the priest at Ryoto Temple, a large, thin-life figure who's also friends with Fujini's grandfather. Anyone who gets along with old man Fujimura can't possibly be normal. Well, and here you go. You owe me. Exactly. Hero. Pass my bento box to him. Much thanks. This is pretty much begging for alms. Issei bows deeply. I honestly question whether I should be reminded that he's the son of a priest at times like this. Oh, by the way, did you hear about the commotion at the 2nd District? Around the intersection you and I part ways going home. The intersection? Could it be the same intersection where I saw all the police cars this morning? I don't know, Shiro! The commotion at an intersection that you part ways with Issei going home with, that you walked past this morning. Jeez, could it be that intersection? Apparently, there was a murder there. I don't know the details, but only one child out of the family of 4 survived. Both parents and the older sister were stabbed to death, but by some sort of long weapon instead of typical knives. Medusa, I think, is probably the culprit of this one. Because Ku wouldn't be out just killing randomly. Because I imagine Kirei... I'm pretty sure Kirei has him on a tight leash. Yeah, it's definitely Medusa, because Media just drains people dry through the ley lines, from what I remember of Unlimited Blade Works. Interesting. Long weapon, does that mean a sword or something? And she does have her nail, which could be a long weapon. If it's a murder, then that weapon killed the parents in the old circle. Not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I can't help but imagine it. Someone sneaks in the house late at night. Unreasonable violence. A horrible nightmare the victim neither imagined nor wished for. Like a traffic accident. Parents are slaughtered. The older sister falls victim without knowing what is happening. A lone child, hidden in the shadows, is covered in their family's blood. Did they catch the murderer? Told you the Vienshiro is something, so just turn off your brain? I might have to. Doesn't look like it. Accidents stemming from faulty construction in Shinto, and now murder with something like a sword here. It's no wonder the school's curfew is, What's wrong, Emiya? Did you choke on your lunch? Nothing. Why do you ask? Well, you had a stern look on your face, which surprised me. Sorry, I shouldn't bring this up while we're eating. Issei apologizes and tries to lighten the mood. I actually don't mind topics like this, and didn't realize I was looking so severe. And then there's a gentle knock on the student council room's door. Sorry, is Rudo here? Yes, what is it, sir? Mr. Kuzuki enters and Issei steps over to him and they have a quiet conversation. It must be a casual student council matter since Issei looks relaxed. Look at that. It's something I don't see every day. Issei is surprisingly shy. He keeps his distance from classmates and even teachers, but for some reason he's warmed up to the student council advisor, Mr. Kuzuki. Maybe they get along because they're both straight-laced. Hang on. Is that the right spelling of straight-laced? Huh. Okay. I just learned something. I did not know that was the... I honestly thought it was literally STRAIGHT for straight-laced. You learn something new. Shoichiro Kuzuki is the homeroom teacher of Class 2A, and he's very serious and kind of weird. Some part of that is probably why he and Issei get along so well. Two continue to talk. As I watch them, I can't stop thinking about the murder. I was gonna say, we better not get some more expositing on how you feel like the murder happened, Shiro. Because that's worrying. Even if I did similar things in my teenage years. Classes end and it's time to go home. I can't wander around because I have work today. I shouldn't do anything at school. I should head straight to the neighboring town, but... maybe the morning's conversation bothered me more than I realized. The next thing I know, I'm at the Kyoto Club. What the hell am I thinking? Mitsuzuri said Rin Tosaka frequently visits. Well, I hadn't thought of that, but I think it'd be a problem if Shinji got violent against Tosaka. Shinji's unstoppable when he gets mad. Who does he think Shinji is, Heracles? Shinji lashing out at Tosaka because she rejected him would be bad. Well, I don't know exactly how, but it'd just be bad. And Taka's not even here. Tosaka's nowhere to be found around the dojo. Mitsuzuri worried for nothing. Who's not here? I'm asking, who's not here? Issei, who I thought I'd parted ways with, is standing right next to me. Why are you here, Issei? Don't scare me like that. I saw you snooping around the dojo and couldn't help but come check it out. So, who are you saying is not here? Well, it's Tosaka. I heard she had a spat with Shinji yesterday, so I wanted to make sure things were okay. Is that so? Giving up more information than you have is kind of suspicious for you. I only asked who wasn't here. But it's none of your business what I do around here. But it's pointless, Emiya. Tosaka isn't here. She cut classes today. What? Cut class? So she's absent. That's generally what cutting classes means! I see. Wait, Issei, why do you think she cut class? That's not the sort of thing she'd ever do. Of course she would. She's not the type to ever get sick. If you want to know what I think, she's bad. Don't let her looks fool you, Emiya, or she'll swallow you whole. Somehow what Issei is saying irritates me. I may not know Tosaka that well, but I don't think she's a bad person. What you say, Issei, you know Tosaka's not like that. Have you got a secret crush on Tosaka too? My apologies if so. Forget what I said. It's the other way around, Issei. A secret crush? Like hell! Don't make assumptions. I'm just worried Shinji's gonna stir up some trouble. So you came here to sweep in and stop Shinji from attacking Tosaka. You really were going to take on some dirty work for nothing. It's not my place to say this, Emiya, but you've got bad taste. I'm unscathed so far because nothing happened. But Issei, what was that crap you were saying? What? The having haunts for Tosaka is in bad taste? Yeah, that. Tosaka's popular. I haven't heard any bad rumors about her. Yeah, Areshka Girl is cute. No, you haven't, and that's what bothers me. What part bothers you? Everything about her. That woman's a vixen, a minx, a monster, and I instinctually dislike her. My advice to you is to not fall for her. You're the one who always warns everyone not to talk too much about people behind their back. Oh, come on, this hardly counts as gossip. I'm even talking loud enough for others to hear. No wonder I sense people watching us. Well, that's a relief. I'm really glad Tosaka's absent today. Issei, please, can we talk a little quieter? If you say so. Understood. But I'll have you know my words were hardly ever slander. I just wanted to let you know that I'm wary of Rin Tosaka. Everything I said is just my own personal opinion. Yet you use words like vixen and minx. I'm pretty sure minx is definitely a derogatory term. Is it? Okay, that's bad, but it's definitely one of your best things that you've told me, as far as not sleeping. "20 hours is nowhere near as bad as some of the times you've given me. Don't worry about it. It's a compliment. There are good vixens and monsters too, you know. I simply use those terms to describe her in a good way. Oh boy. Did you get hit by a metal beam again? Issa laughs. I'll see you later. I'm going back to the student council room, but you're going to your job, right? You really shouldn't waste time hanging around here then. Did your phone explode next to your head again? Issei leaves, calm and composed, perhaps because he felt satisfied having said everything he wanted. I've known him for about 2 years now, but honestly, I still don't get that guy. 2 days of no sleep the other day. How much sleep did you get in between the 2 days? And you drank alcohol while streaming. I'm pretty sure that's against TOS, is it not? I ride the bus from school for 20 minutes. I arrive at Shinto, the neighboring town across the bridge. And it's not even 5 yet. I still have some time. There aren't many part-time jobs in the residential area of Miyama, but there are plenty in Shinto since it's a developing area. Our school allows students to hold part-time jobs, so I take on simple jobs. I prefer my jobs to be physical, and the tougher and shorter they are, the better. I get paid all while training my body, so it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Oh, fair. Today I'll work from 5 to 8 o'clock for a simple loading job. It may just be 3 hours of work, but it feels more like 6 hours since they make you work without a minute's rest. Which means I need to rest when I have the opportunity, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Walking around aimlessly would be a waste of energy, so I decide to rest at a park until it's time. So Shiro's at Fuyuki Park as well. This park is nestled in between buildings, and it's like a giant plaza full of trees and shrubbery. The park should typically be filled with families and couples during weekends and holidays, but this one is deserted at this hour. In fairness, this place is always desolate, no matter the time or day. This place is the same as always. I sigh in exasperation. The area is unkept, and it's really pretty ugly compared to other places that are properly landscaped and maintained. And as if the desolate location had set the mood, the wind blows cold and harsh. This place is the remnant of a great catastrophe that happened 10 years ago. It's the very place where I was saved from the brink of death. Why don't they seed some grass here or something? It's a shame to keep it like this. The area is quite large, so if they leveled it, there'd be plenty of space to work on in the park. I sit down on a bench as I think. With nothing else to do, I stare out over the burned area to pass the time. I don't remember anything that happened here. The only thing I remember is that it was hot, and I couldn't breathe. And some people died trying to save others. I wonder why that happened. One adult here died because they were trying to save a child from a burning house. Another person was offered all available water to extinguish their raw, parched throat, while others in the same situation died. Someone here tried to flee the fire as fast as they could, but the people left behind died. And someone here died because they gave whatever it was that kept them alive to someone they didn't even know. I don't like thinking about that. Just thinking about people trying to help and becoming victims for their own trouble makes me angry. Is it too much to ask for everyone to be saved and for them to get their happy ending afterward? That's an interesting pondering there. Flashbacks and monologues. That statement there is... That statement there is kind of a mixed bag. There's a lot that can be unloaded from that statement. In ways, it's insightful, but in other ways, it's also ignorant. It kind of touches on what the latest Disney animated flop Wish was about for why can't everybody get all their wishes granted? Well, it's because some people's wishes or some people's happy endings may be counterproductive to other people's happy endings, you know? And everyone being saved, you know, I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there. All I want is to see people peacefully prevail. Why can't that happen? That's a tough one. What you're essentially saying is you want to save everyone. That is kind of the core of Shiro Emiya, though. That was Kiritsugu's response to the question when a young me asked it. As a child, I obviously refused to accept that idea. But you saved me, Kiritsugu. I knew you were a magician and you could do anything. I knew you were a champion of justice who wouldn't let anyone suffer, and you did it without asking for any reward. You did put in an easy skill sign of Shiro, intelligence. Where does Child Shiro land then? Because, okay, I guess to be fair, he did not know the full past of Kiritsugu Emiya. Because Kiritsugu Emiya definitely caused people to suffer. Like, post-fire. Based on the line, you saved me, I knew you were a magician, and you could do anything. I mean, I guess that's just childlike innocence. But, I mean, I do wonder what Shiro would be like if Kiritsugu had revealed the truth of him being the Magus Killer to him. And again, I'm going back to something I said last stream. If Kiritsugu had not said, "Hey, kid, I'm a magician. Want to be raised by me?" then Shiro Emiya would be on such a different life path. You did not need to reveal that information, Kiritsugu. That's why I've always believed you managed to save everyone back then. In response to me shouting this at him, Kiritsugu looked more troubled than I had ever seen him, and said something I would remember to this day. Shiro, saving one person means you don't save someone else. Listen, being saved by a champion of justice only means you're one of the few things they managed to reach. It might be obvious, but that's what a champion of justice is. It's a declining skill of intelligence towards FSN. That it does answer yes. It does. Yeah, I get that. And now that it's been pointed out, it seems so obvious. Imagine if there was a burglar and some hostages, and the burglar intends to kill the hostages. Under normal circumstances, the majority of the hostages would probably die. But if by some miracle all the hostages were saved, then there's someone who didn't get saved. The burglar, of course, since saving the hostages was done at the cost of his life. The people the champion of justice saves are only those whom the champion of justice deems to save. That's why saving everyone is impossible. Even God can't do that. Especially if it's a natural disaster. No person is able to save everyone and everything. Fire 10 years ago was like that. As someone who was miraculously saved from the incident, it wasn't my place to say anything at this point. But I still don't like it. I don't want anything like that. I don't like the idea that there's a limitation to who can be saved. But no matter how impossible it may be, I need help. I need to reach out to help. I can't stand to see people around me die like back then. If the person I am now had been there 10 years ago, I would have thrown myself into the fire. But then I would have died. And for nothing. That would have happened for sure. Jeez, I can't even fantasize in my head. Oh crap, I can't believe it's already 5. Bell in the distance ring, chiming 5 o'clock. I get up from the bench and hurry towards my part-time job. Okay, so that's kind of how Shiro... That's why Shiro doesn't want to be a champion of justice, but a hero of justice. That is some very ignorant mindset, Shiro. I feel like Shiro would probably very much like Uncle Iroh. Uncle Iroh post, being exiled from the Fire Nation. By the time I'm done working, the sun has long since set. It's a little before 8 o'clock. I finished about 10 minutes earlier because I kind of overworked myself. Maybe it's because I stopped by that park before work. That might have motivated me to push myself harder. At the train station, the night is just getting started. There are a bunch of people milling about, and an endless stream of cars on the road. Yes, there is no need to get something for Fujini. I'm walking along the path as I gaze up at a lighted building. It's the biggest building in Shinto, so I can't see all the way to the top. Ah, so this is... Okay, for some reason the stream got unstable here. So this is the part where Rin thinks that somebody was looking up at her then. Luckily for me, the stream being unstable isn't that bad, considering it's all still images right now. As I gaze at the building, enjoying the nighttime scenery, I think I see something bizarre. What is that? I stop and try to look to the very top. I squint, trying to bring in what I see into focus, but it's like staring at grains of rice. He does see her. Alright, Infinity, thank you for going to sleep. No, not possibly sleep. You are going to sleep. Thanks. I will be sure to do so. Thanks for stopping by, Infinity, and have a good evening, I hope. Actually, no, it's like the middle of the day for you, ain't it? Looks like someone I know. But I can't think why this girl I know would have reason to be there. It doesn't seem like she's gonna do anything up there. But she's just standing there, looking down at the city as the wind ruffles her hair. She doesn't seem to notice me down below. Actually, there's no way she could see me. Even my near-perfect vision, enhanced with Magecraft, can barely distinguish what's up there. I'm able to tell she's up there because she's isolated, but there's no way she'd be able to pick me out in a crowd on the ground. She's just looking down at the town. It seems like she's looking down for something. I can almost feel her sharp gaze, even at this distance. 8 a.m.? Alright. Bye-bye, Infinity. Nice talking with you. I forget how long it's been, but I continue to look up at the girl standing in the void. She stands right at the top of a high tower. She's like a magician looking down at the surface world with bright moon shining bright behind her. Oh, and then she disappears, apparently done with whatever brought her up there. The rooftop stands empty and the scenery returns back to nothing more than a beautiful, empty night sky. Was that Tosaka up there? I can't be sure, but I'm probably right about who it was, at least. There aren't many girls I know who stand out like her, and besides, I'm not so sure I'd fail to notice a girl I secretly admire. So he does see... Jeez, Shiro, you got the hots for Sakura, you got the hots for Rin. It's just... Tosaka sure has a weird way of spending her time. Unlike Shinto, there's no sign of people anywhere in Miyama. There's nobody around after 8 at night, and the town is silent and still. The house I saw this morning stands across the intersection. There are no signs of life, and a no trespassing sign hangs over the front door. In just a single day, the house has fallen quiet, almost like an abandoned building. A girl and her parents were killed by a burglar. I wonder what life waits now for the single child who survived. I bite my lip, frustrated by my powerlessness. I promised I'd be just like Kiritsugu, but I couldn't do anything. Even something like this happened so close to home. I want to help people, but I don't even know what I can do. Now I reach the top of the hill where my house sits. Lights are on, so Fujini or Sakura are still inside. I'm home. Oh, it's just you, Fujini. Oh, welcome back, Shiro. Fujini turns towards me, munching on a rice cracker. The TV is tuned to a lively variety show. You're home late again. Didn't I tell you to come home earlier since it gets dark so fast in the winter? I am home early. I had to work until 8, so get off my back about that. So, where's Sakura? I see dinner's already prepared. Sakura went home early. She said she had something to do today, so she just came and made dinner. Fujini cheerfully replies, as far as she's concerned, anyone who makes her food is a good person. I see. That's probably a good thing for now. It's been dangerous lately, so maybe I'll take over making dinner until the new school term starts. Objection. You come home so late. If you make dinner when you get back, I won't get to eat until after 10. Couldn't you just eat at home? What are you talking about? This is my home. Fujini tilts her head, puzzled. Honestly, I'm not sure if a response like that should make me happy or sad. Fine. I know it's pointless asking you to make dinner. By the way, what's that you've got there? You didn't bring over more junk, did you? Fujini has a tendency to leave a bunch of junk here. She'll bring stuff like bowls from restaurants that are too big to be functional, an unnecessarily heavy earthen teapot, or a weird guitar that plays itself, She must think this place is convenient storage or something. Show it to me. I'm gonna toss it if it's trash. This thing? It's just a poster. Fujini hands me the poster. It's probably a poster of some no-name singer. Let's see. I knew it. It's a poster of a young man wearing a military uniform smiling with his thumbs up, all in front of a cheap-looking blue sky background. The caption on the poster, in bloody font, "Love's lovely Rangerland. Come to self-defense meetup." Hey, this is a recruitment poster for our youth group. I don't want it, so you can have it. I don't want this either. I quickly roll the poster back up and try to whack Fujini on the head with it. You missed. However, Fujini counters mercilessly with another poster she'd been holding. Conk. Her poster sword bops me light. Stars. I see stars! You thought you were going to hit me? You'll need to up your game if you ever hope to do that. That's not the issue here. How the hell does a paper poster make a sound like that? Did she manage some sort of technique only a true poster master can execute? Oh, sorry. That poster's a collector edition made of a fancy plate steel. Is your head okay, Shiro? Fujini, you're going to end up killing someone one of these days. And if that time ever comes, it'll all be good because you'll swoop in and marry me. Yeah, not a chance. I'm not marrying a natural-born killer. What? I don't think I'm that violent. You would be that unaware of your actions. Pray that I survive. I'll have to be very careful from now on if I'm going to have any hope of avoiding being murdered. Ain't that the truth? Keep talking big, but now I'm hungry, Shiro. I've been waiting for you so long, so let's hurry and eat already. Fujini gets up. What's up with Fujini? She must really be hungry if she's offering to help, even if it's just setting the table. Fine, you take out the plates and bowls, you can at least scoop the rice into bowls, right? Of course I can. Hey, do you think it's okay if I use a bigger rice bowl? Shouldn't be a problem. Sakura's not here today, so we'll definitely have leftovers. Good, good. Then you and I will have matching bowls today. Fujini scoops up mounds of rice into 2 large bowls. Whatever. I was going to go for a second helping anyway, and if I'm meddling what Fujini does now, we may not have any dinner. Besides, this is the kind of chaotic dinner scene that at my home has been for years. Another day ends. We finish our rowdy dinner, and after I see off Fujini, I take a bath. After that, I head to the shed for my daily training. I complete it as usual, and then go to sleep. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Today ends peacefully and without incident. Really? That's odd. How many choices did I lock myself out of with my current picks? Okay. So... Not that many... Well, there's a whole bunch. So... I still don't know how this split happened. And then there's this split, which seems to be determined based on if I've not bonded with Sakura. And then after this, we chose to go to work. I didn't even see an indicator of another possible choice there, though. And then it's just straight shots. Excuse me. But this gap here... Is there a gap like that in the... No. So that tells me that one of these 3 choices would give me a night scene here. It does look like we have a split choice here soon. I'm in a fire. Houses crumble and people burn. No matter where I go, all I see is crimson. This is what I saw 10 years ago. It's a long-forgotten memory of the past. I run through the scenery, recreating what happened. I know it's a nightmare, but there's no way to escape. I run, and I keep running. Every time the scene ends with me as a child running out of energy and being rescued. Dot dot dot. I wake up, feeling wrong. A hand to my forehead tells me I'm sweating, even though it's winter. It's late. The clock reads past 6. I hear the soft sound of chopping from the kitchen. Sakura's early again. Not really the time to be impressed by what an early riser she is. I need to hurry up and get ready so I can help with her breakfast. Shiro, what are you going to do today? It's Saturday, so do you have work in the afternoon? No, not today. I might help Issei out. Why do you ask? Oh, no reason. I was hoping you could swing by the dojo if you had nothing to do, 'cause I'm kind of in a bind this month. A bind? Why? Excuse me. My bank account's hurting, you see, and be a huge help if someone made me lunch for a while. Yeah, not happening. It's your mess. You can afford to miss a meal or two. I wasn't expecting anything from you, Shiro. The only person I can count on is Sakura. Right, Sakura? Yes, if you don't mind having what I have, I can make you something. Good, good. Then let's eat lunch together today. Breakfast goes smoothly. Today's menu includes the typical sides, and the main dish is a braised lotus root, konnyaku, and chicken. Sakura probably didn't need to make such an elaborate dish for breakfast, but I'm guessing she made extra to pack for lunch. Sakura's a member of the Kyoto Club, and Fujini is the club's faculty advisor. You would think it was weird for the two of them having the same lunch. Oh, by the way, Shiro, you woke up late today. Did something happen? Fujini looks my way as she sips her miso soup. As much as she's kind of just out there for most of the time, she's pretty sharp about this kind of thing. Had a dream about the past and woke up feeling crappy. That's it. So the usual? Nothing to worry about then. It's not an interesting topic for Fujini, so she shifts the conversation in another direction. That doesn't bother me one bit. 10 years ago, I used to have nightmares a lot, back when I couldn't shake the memory of that fire. But as time went on, those nightmares grew less and less frequent, and I've gotten to the point where the dreams don't bother me anymore. I've been told my nightmares were pretty bad back then, though. Fujini was already with us by then, and she's been sensitive about changes in me since. Shiro, are you hungry at all? Your dream this morning hasn't affected you, has it? No, I'm fine, so quit using my dream as an excuse to try to steal my food. I'm happy to see you turned out to be such a strong boy, but I wish you wound up a little more gentle. Right back at you, since I'm basically your young brother, I kind of wish you'd ended up more delicate and sweet yourself. We both huff and turn our heads away from each other. Seeing that as a sign I'm fine, Fujini smiles in her relief. Honestly, I appreciate her consideration, but I know she'll get an ego about it if I say it directly, so I pretend to grunt and protest instead. Sakura looks puzzled by our interaction. Ugh, my tongue got tangled. Soon after Fujini leaves, I lock up and Sakura and I leave as well. Senpai, I won't be able to come help out from tonight until Monday. Will that be alright? That's fine. Besides, it's the weekend. I bet you have friends to hang out with, so don't worry about me. Oh no, that's not it. It really is for personal reasons, so I'm still going to practice at the club. So if you need anything, just come to the dojo and I'll figure things out. And I'm not going to go out just because it's the weekend, so please don't get the wrong idea. What? Sakura's acting suspicious, or rather, she seems nervous. I don't know why, but it's probably just that she can't come over to the weekend. Got it. I'll go to the dojo if I need anything. Yes, that would be great. Sakura sighs in relief. But the moment Sakura lowers her gaze, her expression stiffens. Senpai, your hand. Sakura is staring at my left hand. Look down and see blood trickling from it. Huh? Pull my shirt sleeve. Yep, blood. The hell? Did I cut myself with something last night? But I don't feel any pain. Looks like there's a welt on my hand. Bruise stretches all the way from my shoulder to the back of my hand. Looks like a snake that's trying to reach my palm from the top of my shoulder. Well, it doesn't hurt. I'm sure it'll go away soon. I don't think it's anything to worry about. Okay, if you're sure, I won't worry. The sight of the blood probably made Sakura sick since she's keeping her head down. I don't think it's a command seal, because he said it stretches from his shoulder. But maybe Sakura thought it was a command seal, and that's why she freaked out. That makes sense. Also, I feel like it skipped the choice already. I'm checking. Yeah, yep, it skipped the choice. Okay. Also, way to spoil what this is. So yeah, there was a choice here before we left with Sakura that we auto-skipped as well. Sakura heads to the club while I head to the school building. The schoolyard is filled with athletic club members training. This morning is practically brimming with the enthusiastic energy. But something feels strange. Everything in the school is as usual. The students exercising for morning practice are lively, and the new school building is spotless. Maybe it's just my imagination. But when I close my eyes, the mood changes drastically. The building walls feel stained, like membranes have latched onto them, and the students themselves seem like empty dolls. Maybe I'm just tired. I shake my head to clear it and head onto campus. School ends early on Saturdays. Classes end in the morning, but by the time I finish helping Issei, the sun is starting to set. Guess it's time to go home. I pack my bag and leave the classroom. But then, Shinji. So this, I remember, is how Shiro ends up at the school at night. And it's because Shinji asks Shiro to essentially clean the shooting range area. So, yeah. I run into Shinji. There are a few girls behind him making a small commotion. I can't believe you're still hanging around when you've got nothing to do. Oh, right, you're still kissing the student council's ass. Look at you, getting into the school's good graces even though you don't go into any clubs. I'm not helping the student council, I'm just helping the school by repairing old equipment, since we all use it. Listen to you. Anything is a given according to Emiya. Did I ever tell you how much you piss me off? I don't remember. I probably wasn't listening if you did. You say that kind of stuff all the time. I get it. So you're saying you'll fix anything as long as it's something that's in the school, huh? It's impossible to fix everything. The most I can do is take care of things. Then do me a favor. Our Kyoto club's kind of a mess right now. We've got bowstrings laying around and the range hasn't been cleaned up recently. If you've got time on your hands, you can take care of that too. You used to be in the Kyoto club, so shouldn't you be helping us too instead of kissing the student council's ass all the time? What? Shinji, didn't Miss Fujimura tell you to do that? Yeah, you'll get in a lot of trouble if you don't do everything we're told. But all the shops will close if you start cleaning now. If that guy's offering, just let him do it. That's kind of mean. Plus, an outsider can't possibly clean everything up. That might not be right. Shinji said he's a former club member. Maybe we can let him do it. The girls behind Shinji are awfully chatty. They seem to be Kyoto members, but since I don't recognize any of them, they must be members Shinji recently recruited. I'm counting on you then. The key's in the usual place, so just go in whenever. You don't mind, right, Emiya? No, I don't mind. I've got some time on my hands, so it's no problem. Thanks. So let's go, everyone. This clown will do the boring chores for us. Don't leave me behind, Shinji. Oh, good luck with the cleaning, senpai. I cleaned the Kyoto dojo without any problems, since I'm familiar with it. It's a big room, so it took a while, but it was kind of fun cleaning the place I used to spend so much time in until a year and a half ago. Midway through, I considered trying to shoot a bit, but decided not to. It would be rude to the owner of this bow. If I want to shoot, all I have to do is bring my own bow and visit. I look at the time, and it's way past curfew. It's a little after 7, and the school gates must be closed by now, so there's no need for me to rush out. Now that I look closely, I don't remember the dojo being so dirty before. There's dirt and grime all over the place, like behind the bow rest in the clubroom. Well, I guess another hour or two wouldn't make too much of a difference at this point. I've already started, so I may as well clean every nook and cranny. The wind is starting to pick up. It's so cold, my cheeks start to sting. Fuyuki typically isn't cold at night during winter, but tonight's certainly an exception. My breath fogs the air with every exhale. No wonder. It's darker than usual. The moon's hidden tonight. I look up and there's no light in the sky. Strong winds send the clouds speeding across the night sky. Curfew is long past, and there is no sign of life in the empty school. Not so much as a sound can be heard on campus, and it seems to be covered with colder air than any place in town. I think I heard something. I do hear something. It's coming from the schoolyard. That night, under the frosty sky, I guess I just got curious about the sound that broke the hushed silence. So I headed towards the sound to investigate. Excuse me. And thus Shiro Emiya was drawn into hell. I go to the schoolyard. Is that people? Looks that way, at least from a distance. It's just so damn dark. I need to get closer if I want to find out more. The sounds grow louder and more intense. I know that sound. It's clashing metal. How do you know the sound of clashing metal, Shiro? It sounds like a fight. This is so stupid. What the hell am I thinking? I'm being stupid, obviously. Who would ever fight in a school courtyard with weapons like that? And then, it was probably a gut instinct that sensed the danger, or maybe keeping out of sight as I approached was just a stroke of luck. Whatever the reason, I hid behind a tree big enough to conceal me, and took a closer look at the source of the sound. There, my mind froze. What? I can't comprehend what I'm seeing. A man in red and a man in blue. The two of them are clad in armor it's so ancient it's several steps beyond old-fashioned. It's a ridiculous sight, but their rapid, deadly movements make it clear that their fight is no joke. I would not call Emiya's armor ancient. I don't understand. I can't even follow their movements. They're too fast. Their movements look so surreal, my mind can't properly function. The sound of their clashing weapons is the only thing convincing me the two of them are actually fighting to the death. But there's one thing I'm sure about. They're not human. They have to be something else, in the guise of humans. My magecraft training isn't why I know this. Anyone could see that these two aren't human. To start, humans just can't move like that. Nobody should get involved in whatever this is. ... I can feel their intent to kill, even from a distance. I'm going to die. My body instinctively knows before my brain kicks in that I just won't live if I stay here. My racing heart is proof of that. I sense they're living things designed only to kill. No knife or blade would be a match for whatever they're wielding. They're clearly meant only to kill. I suddenly remember yesterday's murders. The family that fell victim is said to have been killed by a bladed weapon. Damn. I shouldn't stay and watch another second. But I can't move a muscle. I can hardly breathe. My mind is telling me to flee, but something else tells me they'll find me the second I move. More than any internal conflict, though, I'm just paralyzed. I'm more than 40 meters away from them, but I still imagine getting stabbed in the back with that spear. I can't breathe. Sounds stop. Two figures separate and stand facing each other. Just as I'm starting to feel a sense of relief that the fight's over, another stronger sense of malice creeps over me. What? My heart feels like it's shriveled up in my chest. The numbness in my body turns into convulsions, and I clench my teeth in an effort to compose myself. Unbelievable. Who the hell is that guy? A nauseatingly high amount of magical energy flows into the band of blue. Kiritsuga once demonstrated to me how to draw in magical energy from one's surroundings. It was a kind of magecraft so beautiful that it impressed even an apprentice mage like me. But this is different. The same way even the simple act of drinking water can look revolting if done excessively. The man in blue appears to be binge-eating. A sight is so extreme that anyone with magical energy would find it repulsive. He's going to die. The man in red is dead meat. The attack will be infused with more magical energy than anyone could possibly defend against. He's going to die. That inhuman something in the guise of a man is going to die. But can I? Can I just let this happen? Dude, you can do nothing here! The question shakes me out of my paralysis. My body is suddenly free, and I take a deep breath. Who's there? So we know now why Shiro called out because he wanted to save Emiya. That's kind of hilarious. The man in blue glares in my direction. The man in blue crouches in a way that tells me one thing. I'm his new target. My legs are moving before I even have the thought of running. The rest of my body finally realizes it's time to flee for my life, and suddenly all my energy is being poured into doing exactly that. I don't remember where I ran through or how I got there, but I'm in the school building. Real genius here. I regret my own actions as I huff and puff. I should have run toward town. I've got to be the world's biggest idiot thinking I can escape by running into an empty building. You know, at least he's self-aware. A school of all places. There must have been other better places to hide. And what the hell convinced me that I'd die if I didn't run to begin with? My chest burns from all the running. I turn around, but I don't sense anything pursuing me. The only sound is my own footsteps. I can finally stop. My feet can barely move another step. I gulp down lungfuls of air, trying to slow my heart down and breathe a sigh of relief. I survived. What the hell was all that? I try to recall what I saw just as I catch my breath. One thing's for sure, I definitely wasn't meant to see that. Things that look like humans fighting in the schoolyard at night. That's all I can really remember. But I'd seen something else out of the corner of my eye. I think there was also someone else. I can't remember what they looked like, though. Honestly, I couldn't afford to look at anything other than the two figures locked in combat. But finally. Guess our little game of hide-and-seek ends here, huh? The voice comes from right in front of me. Hey, you ran pretty far. I can't breathe. My mind goes blank. I can't think. But I know that I'm going to die. There's no way out of this. You get that, right? Don't worry, it's always like this when you're about to die. Nothing to be ashamed of. And with that, he raises his spear. Sorry, kid, you're just unlucky today. But you saw what you saw, so you gotta die. No mercy, no compassion. His spear pierces my heart. I didn't even have time to dodge. No training I ever did prepared me for this. I knew I was going to die. I knew the spear was going to impale me, but I couldn't move. The world distorts around me. My body grows cold. Numbness creeps from my fingertips to the rest of me. I cough up blood. Once. I felt like there should be more, but it was just the one cough. That spear must have been special. My blood slows and grows stagnant. My heart just stops, all from a single strike of that spear. I can't see anything. I don't feel anything. I'm like a jellyfish floating in the dark sea at night. I stopped feeling pain long ago. The world has turned white. I'm the lone dark spot. So rather than being aware that I died, it just feels like everything around me has ceased to exist. I know this. I experienced the same thing 10 years ago. This is what dying feels like. Dead men tell no tales, but the weak dying is just the order of things. My eyes can't focus. It's a dirty thing you made me do. After what I just did, calling me a hero seems like a bad joke. I can only hear his voice. I know, I'm not complaining. At least I saw the girl's servant, so I'll head back. He sounds so irritated. Afterwards, I hear footsteps fading down the hallway. Archer, huh? I want to sell that score, but I'm in no position to ruin my master's plan. Damn, my master's a nasty one. The voice suddenly disappears. He must have jumped out the window. Afterwards, the footsteps I heard earlier stop. There's an awkward silence. Then, footsteps again. I can't hear it that well anymore. Go after him, Archer. Lance will probably go back to his master. We need to at least find out what his master looks like. I don't know who's talking. I muster up all my concentration as my mind fades, but I still can't put my finger on it. All I can hear now is the sound of my breathing. My lungs must still be functioning. I hear a loud whistling sound coming from my mouth, like a passing typhoon. I'm impressed he's not dead yet. I sense somebody peering into my face. My breathing must be loud as the person reaches their fingers out to try to close my mouth. Stop. Seriously, why does it have to be you? Whoever it is, they grit their teeth, seeming troubled. The moment I hear that sound, the person touches me without hesitation. Larger than replacing an entire heart. Honestly, if this works, I should be a shoo-in for the clock tower. The voice sounds distressed, but at that moment, my fading consciousness finally flickers to nothing. Sensations return to my body. Slowly, little by little, my bodily functions return, like dewdrops trickling down a leaf. Drip, drip. What's going on? The person hovering over me is sweating, intensely focused on where their hands are pressed against my chest. Next thing I know, the palm over my chest grows extremely hot. It's so hot my corpse jolts and my cold, stagnant blood starts to flow again. I sense the person taking a deep breath and sit down. I'm beat. Clink. I hear something fall. Well, I guess I couldn't help it. Forgive me, Father. Your daughter is just an extremely heartless person. I'd say you're full of plenty hearts, considering you just gave Shiro a new one. That was it. The person mocks themselves and leaves. My heart resumes beating, and then I finally pass out. But it's not the everlasting sleep I expected. I fall into a slumber, bound to wake again. Can you stop flashbanging me, game? I wake suddenly. I feel sick and my entire body aches. Every time my heart beats, a sharp pain stabs in my head. What happened? My intense headache prevents me from remembering anything. My body is cold and stiff, likely because I've been sleeping in the hallway for a long time. The only thing I can figure out is that the chest of my uniform is torn and blood stains the hall floor. My head feels hazy as I get up. The spot where I'd been lying looks like a murder scene. Damn, seriously? Was my chest stabbed? I fight down a surge of nausea as I head into a nearby classroom. Staggering open No, Cheryl, You're seriously cleaning up your own murder? Oh, Shiro, Emiya. Only you, man. Only you. What the hell am I doing? I'm still confused. I encountered something unbelievable, then it murdered me, but here I am trying to clean up after myself. How stupid. He's self-aware of it. Damn it, it's not coming out. I hit the floor with the rag I found. I managed to wipe off the blood despite the incredible weakness of my whole body, then gather up everything scattered around the floor and shove it into my pockets. This may be my way of hiding any evidence. I must be doing such stupid stuff because my head's all fuzzy. I put the rag and bucket away and stagger out of the school like a zombie. My body heats up with every step I take. It's so cold outside, and yet my body seems to be on fire. See, from what I remember with Unlimited Blade Works, I thought that Ku caught Shiro because Kirei ordered him to clean up the evidence. But it seems that there's no way Ku would know where Shiro is unless he had tracked him down somehow. By the time I reach my house, the data's changed. There's nobody in the house. Sakura and even Fujini left long ago. I collapse on the floor. Lying on the floor is what lets me finally calm down a bit. I inhale deeply. My heart feels like it cracks every time my chest expands to draw in air. Actually, it's the opposite. It's not that my heart is cracking. The hole in my heart was just patched up, so my expanding chest opens the wound. So I really was almost killed. That's also not true. I wasn't almost killed. I was killed. But someone saved me, and now I'm alive. I wonder who it was. I'd really like to thank them. If they were in that area, it means they could be involved with the people fighting. But it still doesn't change the fact that they saved me, so I need to thank them properly one day. The moment I drop my guard, the pain returns. At the same time, nausea strikes me. I sit up to hold the nausea at bay. Place my hand on my bare chest where the uniform is torn. I might have been saved, but my chest was, as a matter of fact, pierced. That feeling, the agony of the spear tip piercing my chest, isn't something I can easily forget. Damn, I'm gonna have nightmares about this for a while. PTSD is like that. When I close my eyes, I feel the spear thrust again. I try to shake that delusion off, and I make every effort to regain my composure. Good. I'm calming down. This must be thanks to my nightly training. My thoughts clear as I take slow, deep breaths. The fever and nausea abate a bit. So about what happened. The man in blue and the man in red. They looked human, but I know they're not. They could have been ghosts of some kind, but I've never heard of ghosts having forms that allowed them to interact with humans like that. And the thing they were talking about, which makes it a little hard to believe it was a ghost if it had a will of its own. From what I've heard, the only spirits that possess physical bodies are the elemental types, but I thought elementals didn't look human. That's not the issue here. There's a more fundamental issue. Those two were trying to kill each other. And there was a robbery and a murder at a house nearby. Eerie stuff like that has been plaguing Fuyuki lately. With all this in mind, the only conclusion I could come to is that the situation is out of my control. If only the old man was alive right now. I guess that was kind of whiny, but I'll put it down to the patched-up chest wound that still feels so raw. Hey, I've already decided to do whatever I can, even if I don't understand what's going on. I can complain later. First of all, I need to decide whether I should get involved or not. The bell on the roof of the house rings. No matter what anyone says, this house is still a mage's house. A mounted field is set around it, and if there's ever an intruder in the area, an alarm rings. Burglar at this hour. I berate myself for my own idiocy. Of course, it's not a burglar. Given the timing right after that weird incident, there is definitely an intruder. It's no burglar. It's an assassin. You're here to take a life, properly or not property, because that man said so himself. You saw what you saw, so you gotta die. The house is dead silent. The same murderous intent I felt at school creeps closer through the hushed darkness. And gulp. A chill prickles like needles along my spine. It's no illusion and not imagination. I know that moment I leave this room, I'll be stabbed again. I desperately try to contain my scream. The instant I scream, the assassin will just leap right in and kill me. And that would be a repeat of what happened before. I'm not prepared, and I'm not going to be impaled again. My breathing grows labored as soon as that thought crosses my mind. I'm mad. I'm mad at myself for being afraid, and I'm mad at what I put myself in a situation where I'll so easily lose my life if it was just saved earlier this same damn day. I grip my teeth and hold my hand tight over my wounded chest to restrain myself. I need to get used to this. This is the second time. I'm about to die. That alone motivates me to not die so pathetically as last time. Am I not a mage after all? And if I can't defend myself from this, what were my 8 years of training for? Fine. Bring it on. Yeah, Shiro, who knows no magecraft, you can totally survive this. I'm not going to agonize over complicated things anymore. Right now, I just need to drive away whoever's here. I need to find a weapon. I may call myself a mage, but the only thing I can do is reinforce something that might work as a weapon. I need a weapon to fight, after all. There's plenty of things that might work as a weapon in the storehouse, but I'm not anywhere near there. If I leave the living room and get ambushed, I'm just going to expose myself, and it'll be a repeat of what happened earlier. It won't be easy, but I've got to find a weapon here. Something long and thin would be good. My opponent's weapon of choice is a spear, so a knife would be all but useless. A wooden sword would be best, but I obviously don't have one just lying around. Something around here that might be suitable as a weapon. There's only the poster Fujini left. Can't help but feel utterly dejected. The desperation makes me all the more determined. The situation's so bad, it can't really get any worse. Then all that's left for me to do is move forward until I have no energy left. Trace on. I speak my incantation and inject magical energy into the rolled up 60-centimeter poster. I try to imbue as much magical energy as I possibly can into the poster to solidify it, since it needs to work as a weapon for me to go up against that spear. Excuse me. Composition, analyze. I focus my consciousness. Magical energy permeates the poster as if I'm straying its fibers with my own blood. Composition, reinforce. Feel that I've hit the end. Right before the magical energy spreads throughout the poster and spills out, I cut off my connection with the poster and tremble with excitement. The poster is hard as steel, but its weight remains the same as before. It turned out great for a hastily improvised sword. I did it. How long has it been since my strengthening magecraft succeeded? My magecraft hasn't worked ever since Kiritsugu died, and so for it to succeed at a time like this seems ironic. Either way, now might be able to defend myself. I at least have some discipline in swordsmanship. Grip the poster with both hands and stand in the middle of the living room. If I stay here, I'm dead, but I don't think I can make it outside the mansion either, so I just need to head to the shed and make a stronger weapon there. Just as I start trying to hype myself up, every hair on my body stands on end. Not sure when he got in, but the guy drops from the ceiling straight towards me. What? A silvery flash strikes my head from above. I can only assume he came in through the ceiling and he descends on me, meaning to skewer my head. I roll forward in a frantic dodge. The man lands with inhuman grace as I clumsily roll out of the way. I stop myself quickly and get to my feet, makeshift sword at the ready. The guy turns lazily, looking bored. You're making this whole thing kind of a pain. I was trying to be nice, thinking it'd hurt more if you saw me kill you. He shifts the spear to the other hand in a slow, fluid movement. I don't know why, but he doesn't seem as aggressive as he did at the school, which might give me a chance at escaping him. Can't believe I have to kill the same human twice. Guess the living world is a meat grinder no matter the era. He's complaining to himself like I'm not even here. I slowly retreat out of the room. Only 3 more meters until I reach the window. I'll run out, then it's only about 20 meters to the shed once I reach the yard. Then I should quickly... See ya. Don't wander around anymore, kid. He says it almost absent-mindedly, like it was just an afterthought. Pain shoots up my right arm. It all happens in an instant. He thrusts his spear forward, not even giving me time to react. I should have died a second time right there. The makeshift sword in my hand spared me that fate. He probably thought it was just holding a rolled-up paper. He struck me as though he wasn't holding anything at all, but the reinforced paper sword deflected the attack so it only grazed my arm. Interesting trick you've got there, boy. His expression goes blank. His casual attitude from earlier vanishes entirely. He watches me now like a feral animal eyeing its prey. Crap, I was clearly wrong thinking things would be okay. This thing before me is some kind of demon. I'm bound by logic. I keenly realize that letting my guard down even for a second was beyond ludicrous. That's right. Desperate as things are, I should have just made a break for the window right after whatever miracle let me dodge a strike from above. Thought you were just some kid, but I can sense a bit of magical energy from you. So that's how you're alive even after I stabbed you in the heart. The end of his spear points towards me. Can't block that. There's no way I'll be able to block that swift attack. I could have at least braced myself if he had a sword, no matter how fast he might be with it. But he's holding a spear. A sword is a whole line, but a spear is only a point. How am I supposed to block a point when I can't even see how fast it moves? Fine, I'm gonna have a little fun. The man drops into a lower stance. In a flash, the spear swings in sideways. I instinctively parry the blow aimed at my face. Good boy. Come here. Come on. Here comes another. It's a cyclone. I'm not sure how he's moving his spear in this small room, but it traces a beautiful arc without even touching the walls. The next swing comes from the opposite side, aiming at my torso. The force of the swing bends my makeshift sword as I try to parry. Monstrous. Is that a hammer he's swinging? Damn, the numbness in my arms is telling me that they might be broken. You... I instinctively swing at my sword. He must be mocking me with the way he keeps flicking his spear at my sword without drawing back at all. Numbness creeps into my arms after going on the attack. My makeshift sword bends even more and the man's spear changes trajectory slightly. You're hopeless. I gave you an opportunity, but you wasted it. Then again, I guess expecting a good fight from a mage is asking too much. The moves like this is just a game. Such confidence. He's been letting me take a swing at him after he took a couple shots at me. I wasted one opportunity as nothing more than a stopgap, so he sees no point in continuing this. What a disappointment you turned out to be. Okay, time to die, kid. The man readies his spear again. Don't jump to conclusions. During that microscopic opening, say what you want, dumbass. I don't turn or look back, I just leap backwards through the window. My back shatters the window and I roll out into the yard. I roll a few times, spring upward, and I blindly make my next move. Twist my entire body and swing behind myself. I manage to bat the man's spear aside and he hesitates for just an instant. I knew it. If I jumped out the window, he was going to have to chase after me. And he would have to catch up to me and go in for the kill before I had the chance to get up. So I expected his fatal blow and swung my sword to the side with all my might. It was a risky move. He'd have killed me if I'd been even a second late, and I'd just have been just as dead if I was early too. But knowing the incredible gap in our skill, I figured there was no way I could have been early. The only thing I had to do was get up as quickly as I could and parry the attack I knew would be coming at my back. The gamble pays off, and my swing deflects his spear. Quickly reposition myself. Now I just need to run for the shed while he's still confused. Fly. He's not holding the spear anymore. He's right in front of me. He turns on the spot in a roundhouse kick. You deflect his spear, so can you deflect a kick? At least he's helping you get to your shed. Scenery goes flying by. My chest goes numb where he kicked me. I can't breathe. The biggest surprise? I'm actually flying through the air. Never thought a guy kicking me would send me through the air like a damn ball. I fall hard onto my back. Slam into a wall, the impact likely breaking my back, and slide down to the ground. Can't breathe. My vision blurs. By a stroke of luck, he's thrown me into the shed I wanted to reach, leaning against the wall trying to rouse myself. I try to track the man through blurry eyes. He kicked me nearly 20 meters away. The guy picks up his spear and rushes straight at me. I'm going to die. There's nothing I can do now. He's going to reach me. If I don't want to die, I need to get up and parry his hit. The tip of the spear surges. I can't even look back at him. My body on the verge of collapse practically greets the spear. Get on your feet if you're a man. What dumb luck. My knees give out. I can't hold myself up. The spear goes over my head and violently impales the shed's heavy door, pushing it open. And this is my last chance. If only I could get inside the shed, there should be something I could use as a weapon. I crawl into the shed on all fours. Just then, this ends now. He launches the spear at me. Damn you! I block it. I open up the rolled-up poster to create a single-use shield. The impact makes a dull sound. The poster unrolled probably isn't as strong. It blocks the spear, but it tears apart, returning to a normal bit of paper. Spear's impact flings me against the wall. I fall on my butt and try to get my heart beating again after it feels like it's trying to quit on me. The moment I raise my head to greet to grab something to use as a weapon. It's over, but that last move of yours surprised me, kid. The man points his spear in front of my face. I can't do anything else now. His spear is pointed directly at my heart. I know this feeling. It's the scent of death assailing my nostrils, reminding me of the pain I felt a few hours ago. Honestly, I don't get it. You're quick-witted, but your magecraft's complete shit. You got potential, but maybe we're just too young. I don't hear the man's voice. My attention is focused on the weapon pointed at me. Obviously, the moment he thrusts, I'm dead. What else is there to think of at this point? I doubt it, but maybe you were the 7th one. Either way, this is the end for you. His arm jerks. I wasn't able to see his movements earlier, but now I see every last one in slow motion. Excuse me. There's a bolt of silvery light. The tip seems like it's being drawn towards my heart. Blood will gush from the wound in just a second. I know this feeling. That sensation of iron piercing my body. The taste of blood that will well up in my throat. The feeling of the world around me fading. I experienced all of it earlier today. And now I'm going to have to experience it again. Really? I don't understand. Why do I have to be the one who goes through this? This is bullshit. No, I can't die in vain in a place like this. I was saved. If I was saved, I can't just die like this. I need to live to fulfill my obligations. I won't be able to do that if I'm dead. The spear is still going to impale me, though. The tip will tear through my flesh, break my ribs, and bore into my heart. I'm mad. I shouldn't be so damn easy to kill people like this. I'm gonna die, and it's bullshit. I'm gonna die twice in a single goddamn day. Technically, it's a new day, Shiro. You were killed yesterday. Everything is fucking bullshit. I'm gonna die and even have the chance to be afraid of this whole goddamn mess. Okay, Shiro's a little salty. No way in hell I'm not gonna let myself die senselessly to the likes of you. It's the absolute right word for this moment. What? Like magic. A figure appears out of bright light shining from behind me. I can't think. All I know is that this figure is a girl. I hear a high-pitched sound. The moment the figure appears, it pushes the spear pressed to my heart and steps in between me and the man without missing a beat. Are you effing kidding me, the 7th servant? He tries to regain his composure after the spear is pushed aside as the girl brandishes something in her hand. Sparks fly. Hard metal clashes and sparks fly again. The man stomps his foot after blocking the woman's attack. He must have realized he's at a disadvantage because he leaps out of the storehouse with bestial agility. She must intimidate him, but she quietly turns towards me. And the iconic scene. The wind is strong today. The clouds slide away and the moon shines through for a brief instant. The silver moonlight shines into the shed, illuminating the girl who appears like a knight. I'm speechless. And it's not because I'm confused by all the things that just happened. The girl before me is so astonishingly beautiful that I'm at a loss for words. The girl's eyes, like precious jewels, stare at me without emotion. I ask of you, are you my master? Her voice sounds so valiant. I can only repeat her words back to her. I don't understand what she's saying, nor do I know who she is. All I know is that this slender, delicate-looking girl is similar to the man outside. She says nothing, continuing to look at me in silence. I don't know how to describe her. She's special. So special I've forgotten entirely about the man outside, even though he may attack any moment. Time seems to have stopped. Even the fear of death I'd felt moments ago vanishes, and there's only the girl standing before me. I have come in response to your summons. Please give me your orders. It's the second time she speaks, and the moment I hear the word master, the name Saber echoes in my ears. Hey, Saber summoned! We became Saber's master! Achievement get! Ugh. Pain shoots through my left hand. It's hot, like being branded by an iron. I unconsciously press the back of my left hand. Taking that as a sign, the girl silently nods her beautiful head. Henceforth, my sword creates destiny. Our fates shall be intertwined. And thus, our contract is formed. What contract? For what? I'm still in mage training, so I understand what those words mean, but the girl doesn't respond to my question. She simply looks away with the same grace she'd shown when she nodded. She turns towards the shed's ruined door. Outside, the man readies his spear. She moves faster than expected. The girl in knight's armor leaps out of the shed without hesitation. What? I forgot about the pain I feel and get up to follow her. She can't possibly go up against that guy. No matter how heavily armored she is, she's smaller than I am. Stop. The echoing clang drowns out my words. What? I can't believe what I'm seeing. My head really does go blank this time. Who the hell is she? The clash of swords echoes around me. The moon slips behind the clouds and the yard grows dark once again. And within the darkness, sparks fly as steel strikes steel. Without saying a word, the spear-wielding man meets the girl who leaped from the shed. She parries his spear and knocks away his other successive attacks, driving him back with each attack. I can't believe it. This girl, Saber, is somehow overpowering the man. The battle has begun. What happened between that man and I earlier doesn't even count as a battle. A battle? That's a fight between two people, each able to kill each other. No matter the difference in ability, it can still be called a battle as long as both are able to kill the other. In that sense, these two are fighting a battle. The man attacks her, swinging his spear so quickly I can't even see his strikes. Somehow. She parries his every attack perfectly with something as she closes in on him. Damn. The man backs up slightly, clicking his tongue hatefully. Excuse me. He holds his spear vertically to ward off her attacks to his side. For a moment, his spear glows. His attack almost looks like it's caused an explosion. The man's spear sparks as if electrified every time whatever weapon the girl is wielding strikes it. The man and I both can tell what it is. It's furious magical energy so dense it can actually be seen. Her attacks are charged with incredible amounts of magical energy. The unbelievable amount of magical energy crackles along her opponent's weapon every time that they make contact. The sheer force of her attacks must be staggering. If the man's spear strikes are precise, like a sniper rifle, her blows must be like overpowering blasts of a shotgun. Each of the girl's attacks bathe the yard in flickering light. And yet, that's not what's overpowering the man. Coward, why are you concealing your weapon? The man curses at the girl as he evades her unrelenting attacks. She doesn't respond other than to step up her attacks with her invisible weapon. You. The man retreats, having hardly so much as a chance to counterattack. Her weapon is invisible. Without being able to determine the weapon's range, it'd be reckless to go in for an attack. That's the trouble with an invisible weapon. But she's definitely got something in her hand. I can't make out the shape or length. Maybe it's transparent to begin with. No matter how many times sparks fly from it, I never get a look at the weapon's profile. Parrying her strikes must be taking a lot out of the man. His movements aren't as sharp as they had been. That's the first sound the girl makes. She attacks all the more furiously. It's a merciless, unyielding dance of blades. The flying sparks remind me of a blacksmith striking iron. And the spear-wielding man continues defending himself as he disapprovingly clicks his tongue. Honestly, I can't help but admire the man, even though he tried to kill me. He's able to defend himself from an invisible weapon, relying only on reading the girl's swings and footwork. That's all he can do. When an opponent is so completely on defense, the only thing you need to do is beat them down. The girl steps in closer. She smashes down, striking with all her might. Don't get carried away, fool. Seeing his chance, the man disappears. Or rather, he retreats back as if to disappear. The girl's swing cuts through the air and she smashes into the ground, kicking up dust. Her massive swing, which seemed to be a fatal blow against the cornered spearman, proved easy to dodge. That fool, what the hell's she thinking? Even I could tell what happened, even at this distance. Her careful, precise attacks earlier may have worn the man down, but the tremendous swing meant to deal the finishing blow wouldn't ever touch him. The relentless attacks must have put incredible strain on the man's body so as he tried to defend himself, yet he suppressed that pain for a single moment to jump away. He knew that her last attack would determine the victor. The man jumps back several meters, then continues to strike once again the moment his feet touch the ground. He jumps in a triangular pattern and leaps toward the girl as if revisiting his steps. The girl's sword is still embedded in the ground. It's a fatal opening. The red spirit returns in less than a second. The girl twists her body around like a top, while her sword is still embedded in the ground. The whole thing happens in a matter of seconds. The man sees his mistake and tries to correct, as the girl uses the brief moment to use her whole body to attack. Momentum. Both the man and the girl seem unsatisfied, though. Both struck, intending to kill. Both survived, so everything leading to this moment was in vain. The two open a bit of distance between themselves. They both just quietly stare at each other. The strain of the battle inflicted on them seems to be too much. What's wrong, Lancer? Will you tarnish the name of all warriors with a spear by just standing there? If you aren't going to attack, then I will. Running to your death already? Fine by me, but let me ask you one thing first. Is your noble phantasm a sword? He phrases his question so bluntly. He glares as if trying to look through her. Who can say? It might be a battle axe, a spear, or a sword, or perhaps even a bow. Keep talking, Saber. Somehow the conversation seems to be amusing him. The man called Lancer briefly lowers his spear. Looks as if he's saying he doesn't want to fight anymore. The girl seems puzzled by Lancer's move. But I know what this stance means. I remember the fight at school a few hours ago. It's the killer move that was supposed to have ended the battle. I'm going to ask you one more thing. Since this is the first time we've met, want to call it even for now? Not a bad deal, right? Your master over there looks pretty useless, and my master's a big coward who won't even show their face. Don't you think it's both in our best interest to hold off on fighting until we're in better conditions? I refuse. You will die here, Lancer. Bloodthirsty! Is that so? Man, I just came here to check things out. I wasn't going to stick around once a servant appeared. The air wavers. Their surroundings appear to distort. Lancer lowers his stance. A chill creeps into the air. The same thing happened earlier. Magical energy rumbles as it forms a vortex at the tip of the spear. Noble Phantasm. The girl readies her weapon and glares at her enemy. I don't need to speak up. She knows very well how dangerous the enemy is. She is the one confronting him. See ya. Your heart is mine. That's the line, isn't it? The beast kicks the ground. Lancer appears in front of the girl so quickly, he may as well teleport it. He takes his spear and meets her feet. Even to me, it seems like a poor choice. I can't see any way an attack would be effective with the spear pointed at the ground in front of her feet. Apparently thinking the same, the girl leaps over the spear toward Lancer, intent on striking him down. But at that moment, his words alone radiate immense magical energy. Spear released from below angles toward the girl's heart. Her body hangs in the air. The blow sends her flying in a wide arc. She smashes heavily into the ground. She's bleeding. She had been unscathed until now, but her heart is pierced, and she's bleeding profusely. Shiro, her heart's not pierced. She's clutching the right side of her chest. Curse, or a reversal of fate. I'm just as bewildered, but watching her from afar may have given me a better perspective on how bizarre the attack was. The spear had been aimed at her feet, I'm sure of that. But then it just changed direction, moving and stretching impossibly to pierce the girl's heart. Yet the spear itself neither stretched nor changed direction. It seemed bizarrely as if the spear had been thrust into her chest from the beginning, almost naturally. It wasn't as simple as the spear changing its trajectory and piercing the heart. The spear didn't change course, it altered the truth itself to make that happen. The moment he spoke those words and released his spear, the intent of the piercing her heart had been realized. Essentially, his attack reversed the cause and effect. The result of the attack piercing the victim's heart was predetermined, so the spear's trajectory is merely an afterthought to establish the facts. It's a demonic splinter that breaks through all defenses. The moment it determines the target, the spear pierces the heart every time it's used, without exception. How can anyone defend against such a completely insane attack? No matter what effort the target makes to evade, the spear will always pierce their heart, which makes it fatal. An accursed spear that always pierces the opponent when used. However, the girl evades by a hairbreadth. The spear did penetrate her, but it didn't hit anything vital. Her actions in evading the spear seemed to have been more impossible than the spear itself. The moment the spear was thrust, the girl turned in reverse direction in an incredible effort of will and strength, as if she already knew what was going to happen. She was either incredibly lucky or had just enough protection to dampen the spear's curse. Whatever it is, the girl manages to avoid the fatal blow, and so survives Lancer's ultimate attack. The girl tries to get her labored breathing under control. Though she had been losing a lot of it, blood stopped seeping from her wound, and even the wound itself was closing up. So this is what a truly extraordinary person can do. I knew she wasn't normal, but she's more than outstanding. In terms of her skills in the fight against Lancer, in terms of the incredible amount of magical energy she used for every attack, her body recovering on its own, she's obviously superior to Lancer. But that's only up until now. She may be healing even now, but her wounds are deep. If Lancer attacks now, she won't be able to defend herself. And yet, even though he's at an overwhelming advantage, Lancer doesn't move. He audibly grinds his teeth, and he glares at the girl. How the hell did you evade my fatal gay bulk, Saber? His voice seems to rumble from the ground itself. Did you say gay bulk? So you're Ireland's child of light. Lancer's expression darkens. His hostility dissipates and he clicks his tongue in annoyance. Damn, I screwed that up. If I pull this move out, it's gotta be fatal. Sometimes being famous is a bit of a pain, you know. The oppressive mood lightens. Lancer no longer seems to have any intent on attacking the wounded girl. He turns his back and he walks to the corner of the yard. Now that my identity has been revealed, the usual servant rules say we should fight to the death. But, like I said, my master is a coward. They're even telling me to retreat since my spear failed. Are you running away, Lancer? Yeah, follow if you like, Saber. Just know, if you do, I'll kill you. He lightly bounces off the ground. It's a wonder how agile he can still be, but Lancer jumps effortlessly over the fence and disappears before anyone can stop him. Wait, Lancer. The injured young girl and starts running in pursuit. You gotta be kidding me. I cross the yard as fast as I can. If I don't stop her, she'll go after him and maybe get herself killed. Turns out I don't need to chase after her. She tries to jump over the wall, but the moment she crouches to jump, she doubles over and grabs her chest. I hurry over to check on her. Well, I'd intended to just approach and call out to her, but that went right out the window the moment I got near her. She's completely unbelievable. The shining silver armor she wears looks extremely heavy. Excuse me. The clothing she's wearing, dated as it is bright, vivid blue. I've never seen anything like it. No, her clothes are not what really enthralls me. She's absolutely beautiful. Her golden hair, illuminated by the moonlight, is extremely fine as spun gold. Her face is graceful with a trace of innocence, and her smooth white skin all but glows in the moonlight. I'm speechless. Her beauty completely takes my breath away. How'd this happen? Seeing a girl wounded in a fight made me absolutely furious. As I stand there gawking, the girl remains silent, her hand clamped over her chest. I managed to quit staring pretty quickly. She lifts her head and let her hand fall from her chest, pain seeming to be erased. She looks directly at me. I don't know how to respond to that gaze, but then I notice something. Your wound's gone. The spear missed her heart, but it did pierce her chest, and yet there's no outward sign of a wound. I heard there's a kind of healing magecraft, but she didn't seem to use anything like that. That must mean she can heal herself no matter how wounded she is. My mind switches gears. I shouldn't be gawking at her. This girl is unbelievable, and I absolutely shouldn't let my guard down around her until I know who she is and what's going on. Who the hell are you? I take half a step back as I ask the question. What do you mean? I'm Saber, a servant. You are the one who called me here, so you needn't ask. Saber? Servant? Yes, so please, address me as Saber. She says that so casually. There's a touch of contempt in her tone, but it remains mostly gentle, and hearing her voice makes my head go blank. What? Why the hell am I getting agitated? I see. That's a weird name. I cover my burning face with a hand as I respond stupidly, but honestly don't know what else to say. Besides, how else would she respond when I just asked what the hell she is? That'd be rude of me not to respond. Shiro. My name's Shiro Emiya, and I live here. There's something wrong with me. More than something, man. I'm saying the dumbest things. Well, she did give me her name, so it's only polite I give mine. I know I'm confused, but it's still important to remain rational, no matter who I'm dealing with. The girl, Saber, just keeps watching me in confusion. She moves not an inch. Forget that. That's not what I'm asking. It's that... I know very well you're not a typical master. Yet, you're still my master. As long as we formed a contract, I will not betray you. You need not be on your guard around me. Crap. I hear her, but I couldn't be more lost. The only thing standing out to me is that she keeps referring to me as Master. Got it wrong. My name's not Master. Very well then, I will call you Shiro. Yes, I like that better. The moment she said my name, I thought my face might actually burst into flames. Shiro, you are so easy. Isn't it a bit more normal to call someone by their last names when you first meet? Wait, why would you choose to address me that? Ow. A strange sensation tingles through my left hand. It's hot. Back of my hand is burning. A strange pattern appears in the back of my left hand like a tattoo. What? Those are called command spells, Shiro. They are 3 spells which command a servant's obedience. Their master's very life, so please use them carefully. On you. Shiro, please heal me. Her tone is cold now. It seems she's not focused on me, but something elsewhere. Wait, are you asking me? Sorry, I don't know how to use complicated magecraft like that. And you've already healed anyway. Saber frowns. Feel like I said something that disappoints her. Then I shall face them as is. My regeneration has only repaired the superficial damage, but one more battle shouldn't affect me. One more battle? What do you mean? There are 2 enemies outside. When I can sense, I'm sure I can defeat them in a few seconds. Saber leaps over the wall effortlessly. Just like Lancer, she makes it look easy. And now I'm just alone in the yard. Enemies outside. I realize what she means as soon as I say it. Wait, are you gonna keep fighting? I move without thinking. I run as fast as I can toward the gate. I reach the gate, unlock it with trembling fingers, and jump out. Saber, are you here? I strain to see in the darkness. Clouds have completely obscured the moon, leaving it pitch dark. Now of all times. But I hear something nearby. There. I run to an empty pathway. It happens all in an instant. I see a familiar man in red and Saber fighting. Saber rushes him and breaks through his guard in a single sweep. She easily cuts at the man in red. Saber raises his arm, ready to. But before she's able to take his head, her incredibly powerful magecraft causes him to vanish. Saber doesn't stop. She dashes right at the person standing behind the man in red, and effortlessly negates the potent magecraft they'd unleashed. What? I knew she was strong, but this is just unreal. That was sort of an intervention magecraft way beyond anything I'm capable of. My old man may have been able to cast something with a bit of weight to it, but I'm not sure even the first-rate mage could just cast something so powerful at the drop of a hat like that. Even so, Saber nullifies the magecraft as if it were nothing. The enemy must be a mage, which means this match's outcome is decided. The mage's attack doesn't work on Saber, and Saber drives at them mercilessly. The mage falls backwards with a thud. The enemy miraculously dodges Saber's attack, but they can't move anymore. Saber corners the enemy and levels her invisible sword at them. My mind freezes. Maybe it's the momentary glimmer of moonlight. But I see then that Saber's attacking a human. I can't tell who it is superficially, but the image of Saber killing someone, the blood staining her hand, suddenly fills my mind. Saber moves in. She's going to slit open their throat with that invisible sword. Saber, stop. And I think that is a good point for me to stop here, because we are essentially right at where we are essentially right at the point where we ended off the prologue, with Saber standing over Rin, ready to cut her down. So I'm going to make a save right here, and then I'm going to review the flowchart here, because I want to see just how many, if any, choices I missed out on. No, this was all straightforward, actually. Okay, so there's not much of a branch off from here. There's this branch off here that I don't know how to get, but pretty straightforward. We are going to be on night 3. Yeah, we're going to be on day/night 3/day 4. So yeah, made some good progress, I do so think. We started the stream off right here, and now we're all the way over here. How much progress that is, I have no idea, but we will address that next time. I think I will probably do next Thursday stream this. I know a new event drops in FGO on Monday, and probably going to do that for the first day, maybe even on Wednesday, depending on if it's a time lock event or not. And since I can't stream Friday because I have a rehearsal dinner to go to for a wedding, I will probably do this on Thursday. Maybe Friday morning. Not sure just yet. But for now, I've been SolarRackDragon. I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. If you have, leave me some feedback in whichever way you so see fit. If you want to check out more by me, be sure to check out my channel here on Twitch or YouTube. Same name, same games. There is plenty of content for all to enjoy. I'm just checking here, see if there's anything new. No new movies. No new musics. Flowchart is pretty much the same. I like how that's there beginning of February 2nd for the prologue when it doesn't happen until here. That's kind of funny. And ending list, all the same. So yeah, nothing new was achieved except for more progress in the game. So once again, thank you all so much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed. Have a fantastic evening, everybody.